Hey Lego fans, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Wishy. And if you were here for my first episode, thank you so much for coming back. So usually you'd see me hunting down Lego deals, tracking prices, looking to flip sets, and looking for my next big score. But today, I'm going to mix things up. Instead of crunching the brick economy numbers, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and build a set for myself. This is the Lego Icons set number 10340, the Christmas wreath. Will it be worth breaking my normal routine? Let's find out. Okay, I'm sure you guys know the drill. I love to find rare Lego sets and get them at a steal of a deal and then pass along that savings to myself while I add them to my collection. Buy low, track the market, sell high, and repeat. But sometimes a set stops you. For me, it was this Christmas wreath. Instead of flipping it instantly, I actually left it in my Lego set and then thought about it the following year. That's right, I bought this a year ago. Um, but maybe it's the holiday spirit this year, or maybe it's because I'm trying to look at Lego in a different way through the way that my 3-year-old looks. I pulled it out and I realized sometimes you need to break your own rules and experience if it's worth the reward. Okay, so the set has 1,194 pieces. It's part of the Icon set, was released last year in 2024. You can build it a variety of different ways, and if you look at it, the piece per count is reasonable. But is it really going to be worth a ton of money after it retires? I didn't think so. But I was walking through one of my local stores and I saw this. A huge stack of these Lego wreaths. Let's talk about the price. They're usually about $120, $130 retail. But when I saw what I saw, I instantly had to grab it. Costco surprised me. It had it for $69.99. That's nearly half off retail. With that discount being so deep, it shifted into impulse territory for me. Even for someone who usually waits for the perfect investment moment, I just jumped at it. So, if you have a Costco membership, make sure you're scanning those end caps. You'll be surprised at how many hidden discounts that are just hiding in plain sight. I love this store. Okay, so what do you get in the box? Well, you get 1,194 pieces, much larger and sturdier than old holiday resets from the 2020s. The instruction manual kind of reminded me a little bit of the Star Wars UCS sets because of the beautiful pictures to start off the build. You'll notice that with this one, there's a bunch of different botanical elements inside. There's leaves and berries, and I'm assuming the modular section that's going to be snapped together. I got right into it. I started building. I'm really looking forward to seeing how realistic this is and if the dimensions that it says on the box, which are about 38 centimeters built, is sufficient for something like this. So you'll see over these next bunch of photos, it's not a super exciting build, to be honest. You're doing a lot of the same things over and over again. And at this point, I was wondering, like, should I've not opened this up? Should I've just maybe kept it for resale? Or maybe I should have bought this as a parts pack, something I could have broken apart and sold on Brinklink. But you know what? I wanted to build a set. My son is really, really forcing me to look at Lego sets in a different way. So I kept on going. And I kind of surprised myself. The more I built, the more I was actually enjoying it. Now, don't get me wrong, this wasn't the most mind blowing build that I ever did, but I sat down at my kitchen table and I enjoyed a nice cup of coffee and I just kind of let my brain unwind. And I think that was one of the coolest things about Lego. And that's kind of why I got into Lego in the first place. I can use it as a way to step away and just let my creative side out without really having to start from scratch. I was able to use this set that was right there. The other nice thing is, over the last couple years, we've built a couple sets, or I guess I've built a couple sets, and we started displaying them in our house. And there's some sets that my wife just absolutely loves. One of them being the Starry Night. We have it hanging on our wall, and it's one of her favorite sets. I also have the Milky Way in my office that she loves. And then this set, I could see it being something that either maybe I build it every year to kind of get myself back into that holiday spirit, Or B, maybe I just keep it built and I put it away with the rest of my Christmas decorations at the end of the season, and I pull it out. But I guess we'll kind of see. Now, at this point, you have to make a decision. Are you going to make it into a wreath or are you going to make it into garland? And well, I kind of want to hang it on our wall, so I went for the wreath. And this is actually when it got a lot more interesting because I actually found myself having to pay more attention. I had to focus a lot more because some of these pieces and the way that they're put together isn't 100% straightforward. And I wasn't really sure if I was doing it right. I had to keep on going back and looking. Now, a lot of these leaves kind of look the same, and you're organizing them in this way or that way. And like, is this exactly where it's showing on the pictures? So that was one of my complaints, I guess, was like the Lego instructions for this part of the build wasn't as clear as I would like. Because there's a couple pages where I actually just literally stared. I wasn't sure where it was asking me to put things. And that's one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of Lego sets that I've built over the last couple of years is I feel like the attention to detail in the instructions isn't there. Is Lego maybe just rushing to get these sets out to make sure that they're capitalizing on a seasonal time of year, or is it something that's just missed, or am I maybe not the greatest Lego builder where I have to like look as hard as I have to at how some of these are? Now, the other part about this is right about here is when my wife came downstairs to see what I was doing, and she saw the set, and she's like, "Oh, that's interesting." And I had to stop and think to myself, what does that actually mean? That's interesting. Is it something that she's liking? Is it something that she's not liking? And she didn't really want to go into detail about it, but that's okay. I persevered and I was pretty happy with where I got to. Now I'm going to talk about building the wreath and what the pros were. So what made this set shine? Let's run down the pros. I thought it was super realistic. Lego Magic really met that holiday decor. The structure was really sturdy. It's designed to be used year after year. It's not flimsy, and it's not small like some of those other sets that you've seen in the past. I really like the botanical parts. They're not great for everybody, but if you're using it to expand your collection and what you have, they're amazing pieces. And the modular designing of it, it was really, really cool. I do wish it was bigger, and you're kind of going to see that in a little bit here. But I couldn't see an easy way to make the physical round wreath any larger than it was. And really, I think for the festive spirit, it was great. And then when it comes to the cons or the challenges, of course, nothing's perfect. So here's what I kind of found. The instructions, and I mentioned this before, they were a challenge. Some parts of it were really repetitive, and like I mentioned before, I struggled at some points knowing where actually everything goes. It was kind of monotonous, and I was doing the same thing over and over again. It also wasn't really easy to convert it from a wreath to a garland mode. So if you built it one way and you wanted to go and turn it the other way, you really have to take a bunch of pieces off to really make it work. And it's not easy and it's not really intuitive. And there's definitely no playable function with this, so it is really a build it and display kind of set, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but depending on what you want, like I couldn't let my 3-year-old touch this, play with this, because it is kind of flimsy. It would break off or move pieces aside, and you'd kind of lose that illusion of it being a wreath. And the other thing is it worth it for just the holiday season, and then you got to take it down? It's up for a month, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months at most. And this is where I was toying with the idea. Now, for me, I didn't really care about having to take it down, and I wanted to use it as an actual wreath. We usually buy a wreath for our front door every year, and we try to buy a real one, and then we end up throwing it away because it dies. So, is this more of an environmentally friendly way, or a way that I can buy it once and keep it, and maybe something my son and I can build year after year? For that part, yeah, I think it was great. And as you can see, I thought it looked really nice on our front door. It is smaller than I would like. I would honestly like it to be almost twice the size, because then it would really have that impact. But standing back, 5, 6 feet from it, you can't tell it's Lego. And I think that's pretty magical. And I think it's worth it just for that, because this is a way that you can have this hobby, have something that you are passionate about, and it not look completely out of place for this holiday season. Now, don't think that I'm obsessed with this set because I'm not. But when I look at how much I paid for it, $70 from Costco, bringing the price per piece down to around 7 cents, and how good it looks, yeah, I'm super stoked that I got it. And also it was really nice honestly to kind of take a step back and enjoy Lego in a way that I haven't recently. I'm normally buying stuff to sell, and this was really fun and a way to break out of that normal cycle. And if you want something a little different for your holiday season, I think this is great. Even at that $120 price, I don't think it's a bad deal. Would I build it or keep it or would I sell it? Well, that really depends. Right now, I'm keeping it. I think it's hitting all the needs that we want from a family. And I think when I saw my son who saw it on the door for the first time and how excited he got, the first thing he said is, "Wow, it's Christmas." That was worth it right there for me. So thank you so much for coming along with me on this building journey. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this, if it's something that you would want to see again, and hit that subscribe button if you want to follow me on my journey. I'll probably go back to talking more about my collection and market tracking, as well as different holiday builds that I might see worthwhile. Also, with the different sales coming up, I'm going to be going into when you should be buying and what you should be looking for, because this is the time where you can really maximize your return on your investment. So, once again, thank you so much. Until we see each other next time, happy building.